So then what are the alternative solutions? Well, I guess what we could look at is a smaller reservoir. Does it have to be as big as it's proposed? Certainly in its full state it will supply somewhere in the region of 54 days worth of water should there be no input. So if we can't extract water from any other way, the reservoir would supply about 54 days worth of water. The water meters should go in, and that's something that Thames Water are proposing themselves. So they're saying we should get a better usage of water through using less water domestically and through industry, better use of the water. So that in itself would help with how much water is actually required. So again, there's questions over the numbers. How much water is really needed, and how much do we need to build this mega reservoir? At the cost of, somewhere approaching £6 to £7 billion now, and that's gone up. We're now approaching 7 billion. So let's face it, by the time we built this, it's going to be more like 10 billion, 7 billion. It's going to be considerably more now that additional land's required, costs are increasing. So it's going to be considerably more than the 7 billion. Then you start to question, well, if it's 7 billion, some of the costs that have been calculated for the Severn water transfer system, the improvement and repair of more pipes to stop the leakage, perhaps some of the money could be spent on that instead. So maybe a smaller reservoir with alternative backups, reduce leakage and improve usage of that water, maybe that could suffice for the next 50 to 75 years. One of the other papers that are part of this pack that's handed out is the environmental impact. And again, there's some questions over that. The environmental impact is likely to hit 6 to 7 square kilometres of land, which will be permanently flooded. So all of that land will be lost forever. So that's a permanent loss of habitat for birds, mammals, reptiles, insects. They're going to have to go somewhere else. And the bird loss is going to be loss of foraging, nesting grounds. There's skylarks, there's lapwings out there. So it has an impact on looking at hedgehogs, badgers, foxes. Again, loss of foraging land. The amphibians and reptiles, ponds, ditches, grasslands, they'll all be lost. And there's going to be a significant impact on the water table. Certainly within 500 metres to a kilometre of the actual reservoir, there will be an increase in the water table level. Currently in Hanney, that sits about a metre below the surface of the land, and in the winter it's less than 30 centimetres in some places. So anywhere that's got a cellar, low-lying foundations, or is already sort of stressed with water table levels, they're going to be impacted, because we'll see somewhere in the region of 1.5 to 2 metre increase in the height of water table. And if you think in Hanney, 1.5 to 2 metres is above ground. So sort of between 500 metres and a kilometre of the reservoir, we'll see a significant impact. The other thing that impacts the water level is that the embankments will leak. Just by their very design, they do leak. They're not completely watertight. And so if they're not watertight, then the water will be added to the groundwater outside of the reservoir. And then finally for this update, it's the impact on transport. And I haven't yet read through all the details, but there's a proposal of about 1 million visitors per year coming to the site. 1 million visitors, that's on a summer day. They're predicting potentially 8,000 visitors or 8,000 car movements in and off the site. Now there are 2 visitor centres, one either side, but even so, 1 million visitors into the region. Some of them will be local, not all of them obviously. So the proposal is to put a roundabout in just south of East Hanney, down near the Jews Meadow development, and there will be a roundabout going off to a road that feeds into the visitor centre. So that's where a lot of the traffic will enter into the reservoir site. In addition to that, that road and the one on the side of Steventon may well be used for the construction traffic. So this is traffic that's going to be happening for 10 years plus and ongoing into the future as the site's used. So there you have it, a brief summary of what's in the pack. There's a lot more. I'll put out some more videos as I get through it. There certainly is a lot of information and more to come, I'm sure, as we see the consultation proceed. So if you get a chance, go to one of the venues. They're being held. They're not particularly well advertised, but there's a lot of information there, even 3D models that may look something like it, and get your chance to have your say. The consultation closes in January. I'll put the dates up on the video here. It's already open and strangely being held over Christmas. What that? Anyway, if you get a chance, have your say. I'll put another link to how you can feedback online too.